What? What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
Okay, everyone, welcome back to The Loser Lounge with Colin, Keady. You know, sometimes I want to introduce this like I'm one of those late night R&B kind of DJs. Welcome to K98.3 The Jazz, your favorite late night R&B music. Now playing the smooth works of Brian McKnight. I hope you all enjoy. I feel like I should do that. Like, that would be really fun. But I don't know. That might be just a dream for another lifetime. But I am a fan of R&B music. But yeah, you know, and I put the intro at the beginning of the episode this time. Instead of doing like the music intro. Instead of doing like a vocal one, just to kind of mix things up, see what you guys think. And as always, if you guys are interested in sending feedback to the show, you want to learn more, you want to ask me questions, I don't really care. You guys know how to reach me. keadycolin@gmail.com. And my Instagram is LordColinKeady. Those are both really easy to find if you search me up. So yeah, the opportunity is always out there if you guys wanna talk to me. But yeah, I mean that's really it. I mean I've had a lot going on, to be honest with you, so I don't have a guest episode prepared for this week, but I will for next week. And I like doing guest episodes because it gives me someone to talk to, and it's just so much easier when I have someone else to bounce it off of. But sometimes I do enjoy doing them by myself. But next week, do expect a guest episode. Going to be a great episode, knocking them out of the park. So yeah. That's great, but I've just had a whole lot going on with school and applying for internships and other kind of applications, so I haven't been able to devote an extraordinary amount of time. Is extraordinary a word? Well, an extraordinary amount of time. We'll just leave it at that. So yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I've got some stuff moving in the works, but it's just gonna take a little bit for the podcast and the YouTube to get that out. But okay, we're gonna make this quick, easy, simple, easy breezy. Today I am talking about the Okay, maybe I should sing this. I know you guys love my singing. The craziest show on planet Earth. And that show is not The Bachelor. It's not. It's not Total Drama Island. Although that's basically what it is. It's Temptation Island. Temptation Island. They take your temperature and then they see if you can resist that temperature while you're on an island. Temptation Island. Now, that would be a cool TV show. But no. Temptation Island. And, you know, you guys are probably thinking, why, Colin, are you doing a whole episode on talking about some stupid crying woman TV show? And the reason why it's crying woman TV show is because the producers, like in The Bachelor and all those kind of dating shows, their goal is just basically to get the women on camera crying. Or maybe it's you as the woman who's crying. I never thought about it. But I've heard it referred to that, so crying woman TV is what we're going to roll with. I'm not sure if that's the correct term from a TV production standpoint, but it gets the job done. You guys know what I'm talking about. So yeah, we're going to talk about Temptation Island. And I guess I got to start off. If you guys don't know what Temptation Island is, I probably should explain it. So they bring these 4 couples on to this little island, and it's actually in Hawaii, but they bring them here, and let's be honest, they choose couples who have some issues, whether that's trust issues, some infidelity issues, or all kind of issues. If they've checked if they've got this long list of what are the issues in your relationship: cheating, lying, stealing, wearing Crocs and socks. I mean, some of these couples clicked the check all button because they've got a lot going on. But they bring these couples on here, and they know it's not going to work. Spoiler alert, it's just, you know it's not going to work, and the producers know it's not going to work. But they get here to this island, and it's under this guise of that they're going to experience self-development and see how solid their relationship is, because they're going to separate the men and the women and let them date singles. So that's really what it is the guys go into one house and the girls go in the other house, and I think they've got 12 singles for like the guys, and then 12 singles for the girls. But these singles are selected for specific reasons, to kind of really, I don't want to say exacerbate the issues, but these couples are coming there because they're not really sold on their relationships, and they're like, well, I really want someone who, like in the first season, and I'm talking about the second season here, just a disclaimer, the first season apparently is not as good, so we're talking about the second, and I've seen part of the first, but I'll use the first one as an example. This one girl's like, I really want an alpha male. I really want someone who's a real country boy. And her husband's apparently not. And again, I will hop into this discussion real quick. I hate when people are like, oh, I want to date an alpha male. Like, are you using that in, like, the biological sense of a male who has influence over the others? Or are you just saying you want someone who's kind of a jerk? Because I think this girl was kind of going after someone who was just kind of a jerk. And so I think she had her definitions of what she was really looking for mixed up. But kind of like that. So they intentionally put guys on that season who were that type, real country boys, outdoorsy, who weren't afraid to get in your face. And so that's what they try to do, is because to a certain extent that generates drama, which is what they're trying to do. But yeah, like that. So they bring on these singles. And that's really the deal. And right off the bat, I know in the second season at least, they have to pick who they want to go on their first date with in front of their current, but not kind of current girlfriends. And this is what I don't understand, because they're picking these new dates or whatever. And so they refer throughout the show to their significant other, their previous significant other, as, oh, my girlfriend or whatever. But they're not dating each other. And for some of these couples, after the first day or two, it's pretty obvious that it's Splitsville. And so it's like, why are you calling them your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your significant other? I mean, it's done. I mean, like it's done. And so that's kind of the real gist of it. And so they go on these dates. But the real thing that sells Temptation Island is after every couple of days, they have these bonfires. So all the guys get in, and the guys, I mean like the four main guys, they go to this bonfire, and they each get shown like a video of what their girlfriends have been doing the past couple of days. And, these producers really love to lather on them. They love to take things out of context or do the time chops. Like when you watch a YouTube video and they go on a long rant, but they cut every, 2 words, and so it's just all these jump cuts all the time. They basically do that, but they cut out the butt and the clauses that don't make them look so bad, so they appear like terrible people. And so the guys, it's just, in this example, I think the guys do it first, and so they have to go watch their girlfriends do all this. And then afterwards, the girls get to come and watch their guys, their boyfriends get to do all this. But they don't get to talk to each other until the end. And they do a couple of these bonfires. Then they get to send like a 30-second video chat to their significant other. And that's kind of where it signals like, yeah, I'm still interested in you, or sorry, I kind of moved on. And so that's kind of how that works. And then at the end, they have a big bonfire with like each couple privately, and they get to determine if they want to leave with each other, leave alone, or leave with someone else. And so, yeah, that's really the show. And the show is hosted by Mark Wahlberg. Actually, it's Mark L. Wahlberg, the guy from Antiques Roadshow. So it's not Mark Wahlberg. It's Mark L. Wahlberg. They kind of trick you. It's like, and performing at the concert tonight is Justin Bieber Smith Jr. It's like, that ain't Justin Bieber. That ain't JB. So yeah, but I really have to emphasize the point here that these relationships, aren't gonna work out. You could be blind, okay? And just listen to this show, and that these relationships aren't going to work out. You don't even have to have any of the body language. And inverse, if you were deaf and you couldn't hear a thing these couples were saying and just saw the way they interacted with each other, it wasn't going to work out. I mean, these couples aren't working out like that guy who's, got a little bit extra weight and posts that he's going to the gym for his New Year's resolutions. That's not going to work out. That guy's going to go 3 weeks, and then he's going to be done. And this is a similar relationship. Similar thing for these relationships. You just know they're not going to work out. But they've got these 4 couples, and I'll walk you through real quick. And, I'll be honest with you, I'm not trying to spoil everything, because the season 2, I think, is like a year or 2 old at this point. So it's not like it's fresh, but the other part of it is that you could know, it's kind of like a train wreck. You know where this show is going to go, but you still are going to watch it anyways, because I was very surprised by how much I actually enjoyed watching this show. But the relationships, Rick and Ashley. Rick, great. He's hilarious. And he starts off, he's like, yeah, I'll be honest with you, I cheated. And you knew it wasn't going to work out for him and Ashley when at first, when they start picking the dates, he's like, I ain't handcuffing her, I'm letting her go. And he was meaning it from the point of like, she can do what she wants, but Ashley took it that Rick just didn't want to date her anymore. And so that leads, and I don't even think this is a spoiler, because it literally happens in like the first episode. She sleeps with the guy the first night. It's not her boyfriend. So, and she had issues with him because she thought he was untrustworthy. So you already see how much of a mess the show is, and you know these aren't going to work out. Everyone's favorite couple, Casey and Ashley. Oh man, how do I even discuss these two? Ashley is a really nice girl. I just think she's just in a poor relationship, and because of that, doesn't really know how to be confident in herself, and it has some insecurities with that. But her boyfriend, and here's what sticks out. He's like, this is going to be real tough for you because I know you've got insecurity issues. He says that like right off the bat. And spoiler alert, let me tell you, Buddy does a 180 like he's driving down the interstate and sees a cop and there's a turnaround right there and he knows he can get away. That's how quick this guy pulled this 180. And I'll talk about that in a minute, but I'll just walk through there. So they've got issues. You know that. Kate and David are the age gap couple. That's their issues. Kate's like 30 something. I think she's 34, and David's like 24. And Kate just doesn't really trust David. And I have to give it to Kate. She actually was one of the best from actually keeping to her standards and what she said she was going to do. I mean, she didn't even like hardly talk to guys until halfway through. I mean, like she kept it pretty on. And then the couple who probably did the best, if you were looking at a couple standpoint, was Asonica and Gavin, and they just kind of had the trust issues a little bit, but just didn't know if each other was the right one. And so that was really their big issue. But for the most part, they actually kind of behaved. I say kind of. But yeah, and what I love about this show is it's under this guise of growth. Oh, you're going to come to this island, as Mark L. Wahlberg says, you're going to come to this island, guys, and you're going to find love. And actually, I have no idea if this is, I don't even remember how he sounds, but if you're going to learn so much about yourself here on Temptation Island. And let me be honest, you learn a lot, but I don't think this is positive growth. I think there's about 2 people who have positive growth in here, and everyone else had regressive growth. Because you cannot tell me that sleeping with someone the first day on this island, when you're trying to be faithful to your significant other, and just be guilt-ridden about it the entire time, is healthy or growth-focused in any way, shape, or form. It's just, you know as a viewer that there's not going to be much growth. It's just entertainment. It's entertainment. But I kind of feel bad for people on this show because I really don't think that they knew what they were getting themselves into. I just don't think they knew it, because this show is basically just setting them up for emotional trauma. It sets you up for emotional trauma as the viewer. And like I said, there's no growth. Like, these people get a free vacation and get to flirt with some singles, but they just ruin their relationship of 4 years. And so is there really growth? And it's just kind of like relationship. I mean, this is, if you go on this show, and I'll read some reviews later, really sad, but one of them is like, this show should really be titled How to Ruin Your Relationship One-on-One. Because that's really what it is. And it's just, you can't help but watch. I mean, you don't want to laugh in some of these cases because these people are genuinely getting their feelings hurt over relationships that have been a huge part of their lives, but some of it's kind of funny, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, we transition on. Like I mentioned, sleeping with someone the first night, not a good way to start. Okay, especially when you have the issue, when you have trust issues for your partner, and you go and do that. Let me tell you, it's not gonna work out. But you got this guy, okay? One of the guys. I don't know if I should tell you which one. Kind of surprise it, but he basically has a menage a trois. And not technically, I don't think, from what they show. But, like, it's about as close as you're going to get. And it's like, really, dude? Like, you're here to prove to your girlfriend that you're loyal. And this is what you're doing? And let me just say, it did not work out well for that guy. It did not work out well for that guy. And I'll leave that, because that was kind of one of the points while you're watching it. You're like, is this dude really about to do this? Is this dude really about to do this? And I'd like to take a moment, to say, if you guys like supporting the podcast, please screenshot, listen to this, pop it up on Instagram, Snapchat, just plugging that in there real quick. I'd really appreciate the support. But back to the Temptation Island, because I'm Mark L. Wahlberg. This voice has changed every 5 minutes. But, yeah. You had the little threesome, kind of crazy. But I'd really like to talk about Casey. And this is a spoiler alert right here, but I feel like you have to hear about this to understand the show, and I want to talk about it. This guy, Casey, okay? The guy that I said was telling his girlfriend, oh, yeah, you're going to have a hard time on that island, okay? Mr. Too Big for His Britches gets there, and right off the bat, like the first or second night, I think he really has this great endowed ability to just let loose and kind of forget the fact that he has any responsibilities, because he's just letting girls twerk and rub all over him, having crazy. And then, like, the night afterwards, he gets naked and just has an apron on, like, in front of everybody. So he kind of sends everything off the deep end. And he really sends it off the deep end because he's kind of going between these two girls, and he asks one of them on a date in front of the other one, which I think is pretty disrespectful, to be honest with you. But I don't know. That might just be me. But, yeah. So, he's kind of crazy. But really what sent Casey over the edge is there was one time he was sitting in the pool talking to this girl. And I feel so sorry for the two girls he was kind of hitting on. And I'll tell you, I'll elaborate on that in a minute. But he's sitting in this pool. And the producers didn't edit this. The dude was literally like, yeah, if Ashley broke up with me today, I'd be fine. Like, literally, I'd be fine. So, of course, they're going to show that on the bonfire tour. And she, of course, breaking down. I can't believe he'd say anything like that. It was like, yeah, this guy's an idiot. But at that point, it's donezo. It's literally donezo. Because his girlfriend then's like, well, screw you. And so she, all of a sudden, gets like this huge sense of empowerment, which, good for her. I mean, she was one of the people who actually had growth. And starts taking this one guy on dates. And, I mean, they actually hit it off. And she's, like, having fun. And then next thing you know, like the next bonfire, he sees that she's like out having fun and actually enjoying herself now. And he like goes off the literal deep end. Like, I cannot even express. This dude does a total 180, like I said, whoo, whipping around from those cops. He like all of a sudden is so committed to this relationship. And it's just like, dude, where was this 5 minutes ago? Like, you literally were like, yeah, she could break up with me. And now you're crying every single night. Don't want to talk to anyone because of how bad you feel. And so this guy really, like I said, goes off the deep end. Doesn't really want to spend time with any girls. And he makes it very clear that the girls that are there that kind of like him and he was pursuing originally, that it's just they're just done because he's all in it for Ashley now. And they're just like, okay, dude, well, thanks for wasting my time. But, so he basically just talks about his relationship the entire time. But he cooks up this idea, okay, that for his video clip, he's gonna be so passionate to ask, Ashley, I miss you, I love you. And so he says this, and of course, she's like, just Jay chilling it with her new boyfriend. Like, he is at the back of her mind. And so he's concocted this idea that he's going to go get a ring and propose to her. So for the final date, I have to tell you, they get to pick someone and have an overnight date with them. And so he chooses this girl, and of course, they just like hang out as friends. But he literally makes her go with him to purchase a ring, okay? This poor girl. Like, she's just along for the vacation at the moment. Like, she thought there were some romantic feelings at first, but now it's just turned into her basically being his therapist. And so they go get this ring, and then bonfire time comes around, and your boy is so nervous. He's like, oh, I'm going to propose to her. This is either going to be the happiest or worst day of my entire life. And you're sitting there thinking like, oh, God, I know how this is going to go. So he goes, and he's going to propose to her. He's going to propose to her. And he gets down on one knee. Ashley, I love you so long. And she puts her hand over his face. And Buddy could not read the room. He had his sleep mask on and just woke up from a coma from 20 years ago and had no idea what was going on. Or he had to be, because Buddy could not see what was coming. She had her hand over her face, and she was like, stop, no. And he just keeps on going, I love you, I want to marry you, you're the girl of my dreams. And she's just like, nope, sorry, sucker. And he's just like, that's not how it went down in my head. It just wanders off. And it was like, oh my God. What did he think was going to happen, man? What did he think was going to happen? And, I do feel, I don't want to make fun of him too much, because that's a little mean, but dude really got the humble check. Like, he got flexed on super hard. And so I think he learned his lesson. And she was better because of it. But the final thing that I want to touch on before I do the reviews is, and the reason why I watched the second season instead of the first, is they had a reunion. And I'm a sucker for these reunions. Like with The Bachelor or Bachelorette, the After the Rose. Like, those were always the best episodes. When all the girls get to come back and just give the guy hell. That is always the best. So this show has him and brings him on. And of course, this show is a little bit more, how do I say this? They provoke the drama a lot more than a lot of these other shows. So they're just willing to put anything out. And literally, this reunion goes terribly. You have like 3 people storm off the set. Everyone's just yelling at each other. But I'm a sucker for these reunions. And it's probably the best episode. Because you find that I'm not going to tell you who, but one of the guys kind of makes it out all right, actually. He, I have to say, I think he left after that better off than he started. Now, the other ones, the jury is still out on those. And they're stuck. It's like 12 Angry Men. They're stuck back there, and they ain't coming out for a while. Because, buddy boy, it's not good. But the reunion thing is just great. I have to tell you, some of the best 40 minutes of television I've ever seen. But that's mainly the show, and I appreciate you guys listening to that so far. So I'll reward you by using some words that are not mine. And these are from the IMDb reviews, so you're more than welcome to look up these yourself. But like I said, there's this one. Rename this show for what it really is. Gave him 2 stars. This show should be retitled and advertised as How to Break Up a Relationship 101. And is Buddy wrong there? Not really. But this was a high review, 8 out of 10, titled The Nonsense You Expect with Character Growth. You don't. And it's like, if you're into drama just for the sake of drama, you'll love this show. However, what makes this show different is it's a shameless attention grab for half the people participating. But this person goes on to say that it's good because they actually try to develop these growth. But if you watch from start to finish, you'll see that things make you sick to your stomach right alongside that restore your faith in humanity. Because cheating on your significant other the first day you're on a temptation island, restoring faith in humanity. Check! Straight facts, no printer. This person gives them an 8 out of 10. This next person's the most entertaining reality show, which is really, I'm not going to disagree with that. This one, the 4 couples are diverse and engaging individually. And goes on, gives them a high review. I don't disagree. But this one's like, I just wanted to say that this show is the literal embodiment of human decay. This show, the result of this show is a slow but inescapable death of the potential of Western civilization. It's like, you get a really diverse mix on here of people who like this show. Why? This one titled 3 out of 10 stars. Why would anyone take part in this show? The idea seems fairly well. I don't know if these people are British, but I'm really lathering on to keep these entertaining. Throw any single girl into an engaged man. Okay, I don't even know what kind of accent I'm doing there. But it's like, the idea seems fairly well. Throw single girls to engage men and looks what's happening. Please don't call it proof how strong your love is. And I agree, because it's just destined to fail. And that's basically what this person says. But this person, like Yoink Scoops, this guy gave him a 1 out of 10. He says it's utterly shameless. Oh, no. Oh, ruh-roh, raggies. You will never go from pandering to the lowest common denominator. I tell you guys, I do professional accents on the side. But this guy, just that they're advocating to the lowest common denominator, that every single individual involved in this production has eroded the advancement of the human race. This show's very existence proves that Darwin's theory of evolution is incorrect. I kind of wish I could frame this review. That's a 10 out of 10 review. But yeah, that's really all that I have. I definitely encourage you guys to check this show out if you haven't, and see for yourself. Season 2, it's on like Peacock and HBO. It's on a bunch of different things, and so I would like to say, I think it's worth your time. So check it out. Check it out, seriously, guys. And that's really the podcast, so I appreciate you all. And I know some people check out when I start doing that, so I'm going to talk as quick as I can. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you guys want to support the podcast, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to follow if you're on Spotify or Apple Music, and then go in there and give us a 5-star review and give us a really great text review, and then post us on your Instagram story or you can post on your Instagram page, but your Instagram story or your Snapchat story, and tag us in there. Tag me at Lord Colin Keady, and if you guys want to write into the show or reach me about anything, you can message me on Instagram at Lord Colin Keady or email keadycolin@gmail.com. So I hope that was quick enough so I didn't lose some of you guys. But yeah, that has been my episode ranting about Temptation Island, and I hope you guys go check it out and give me your reviews. And that's it. So I hope to have a great banger of an episode next week with guests, and I think that's it. So peace out, Girl Scouts. Thank you so much for listening, and catch you in the flip side.